Hello everyone, and in today's video we're talking about the highly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Now, I'm going to start off this video completely spoiler free, so don't be afraid to watch. But I will eventually get into more spoiler specifics, but I'll be sure to let you know before we get there. Now, to start off, what did I think of the movie? I really enjoyed this movie. It definitely wasn't perfect, but in no way was it bad, and certainly nowhere near as bad as critics are claiming it is. Because apparently, they thought it was just going to be 6 hours of sitting in an office looking at cameras. But it did still have some issues, but I'll be getting into that later. First off, I want to start by going over some of the things I really enjoyed. First off, the band looked amazing. Jim Henson did a great job at bringing these characters to life. They were about as accurate as they could have been. Beyond our animatronic friends, Josh Hutcherson did an amazing job playing Mike. He truly pulls off the I have no idea what's going on vibe really well. But Matthew Lillard? I don't think they could have casted anyone else to play the role as good as he did. It was amazing. He really gets into his character and is able to switch on a dime when he needs to. Now, moving on to the film itself, I feel like it had a really good balance of fun and fear. There were definitely more jokes than I was expecting there to be, but I do think they worked really well with keeping the tone nice and balanced. It really felt like they knew when to switch between fun and lighthearted versus intense and spooky. I also liked how they handled the cameos in this movie. Were small, fun moments that didn't take up too much time, which is all you can really ask of a cameo. Overall, it felt like the movie knew what it was there to do. Have fun, spook you a little bit, and pay homage to the franchise it's from. And now, it's time we touch on some of the problems I noticed. The pacing was a little wonky. It was a pretty steady pace throughout most of the movie, but it felt like they wrapped things up a little too quickly. At the very least, I feel if the film went for a 2-hour timeline, we would have gotten just that little bit more amount of time that we needed to really wrap the ending up a little cleaner. Now after that, we get into the jump scares, which I know, it's a FNaF movie, obviously there are going to be jump scares, but a few of them felt a little extra cheesy. Now I will say, some of them, I'm sure if you've seen the movie you know which ones I'm about to talk about, are more so played for laughs, and that's perfectly fine. It's not too bad, just very slightly noticeable. Now lastly for the list of bad things is some of the cheesy dialogue. Generally speaking, the dialogue works really well throughout the film, but there are a couple of moments here and there where lines feel a little unnecessary, cliche, or over the top. Again, if you've seen the film, there's one that you can probably pick off the top of your head. But overall, these flaws didn't keep me from enjoying my time in the theater. And now I'll be jumping into the spoiler territory, so if you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe don't listen to this part. So, the first thing I want to go into are the drawings. So throughout the movie, they have this theme of children's drawings. And I know what you're probably thinking, most horror movies have some child drawing something and it's always weird, it's such an annoying cliche. But in this movie, it actually plays an important role in the plot. Everyone remembers all of the children drawings scattered throughout the games, so it was fun to see those brought back in a more important light. In particular, that scene where Mike shows Abby a drawing she made of their missing sibling. Now, there was one cameo I was not expecting to make an appearance in this movie at all. And I think you guys already know which one I'm gonna talk about. That's right, the old fake teaser of Sparky the dog appearing in the FNaF 1 door makes an appearance in the back rooms of this movie. But all joking aside, that was a really fun little detail I'm glad they added. But also, speaking about cameos, MatPat, believe it or not, also made a cameo. And I don't know if it was the same for you guys, if you guys have gone to the theater to see this movie, but my theater absolutely lost it when he came on screen. Oh, and as a quick side note, the theater I was in. I'd say the people there were really excited to watch this movie. I mean, so was I, but I usually try to keep that tempered. But they weren't bad. They were loud at certain points, and early on it was a little annoying, but it was kind of fun to get excited alongside everyone at the theater. Now with that tangent out of the way, I want to talk a little bit more about the ending. Like I mentioned before, I do feel the ending was a little rushed and wrapped up a little too quickly. Mainly, I wish we got more of William Afton dressed up in Spring Bonnie running around chasing the kids with the animatronics' help. I feel like if they had just a little bit more time dedicated to that at the end, this movie would have been even better. But at the very least, what we did get of Spring Bonnie and William Afton was absolute gold. And speaking of the ending, obviously, William Afton in the Spring Bonnie suit was spring-locked. And this is where one of those cheesy lines comes back. Of course, being, "I always come back." It wasn't awful, it was fun, you know, but it was kind of a "oh ha ha, you finally said it" thing. But it doesn't not fit in the scene. Now, your gut reaction might be, "Oh, that line wouldn't make any sense in this scene. Whenever William Afton gets spring-locked, he hates it, he's upset, it was a surprise." But that's the thing, it doesn't feel like that as much in this film. Now, he clearly wasn't looking to be spring-locked, but about halfway through, he does choose to smile, put the head back on, and accept it. Which to me makes me think, oh, he fully understands what's about to happen to him, and he's going to fully embrace it. And I imagine putting the head on was a way of trying to make sure that what happens, happens. That, of course, being him essentially possessing his own corpse and the Spring Bonnie suit now attached to it. Which brings up one of the last points I want to mention. This movie is definitely getting a sequel. Not just from the perspective of, oh, they clearly ended on a cliffhanger, therefore they're gonna want to make a sequel, but also from the standpoint of, this film made back its budget before the film even came out. And yes, in my less than 5 minutes worth of research, that appears to be true, so I am going to push ahead with it and assume that it is. So I think it's a very safe bet to say that this movie is getting a sequel. And if I'm not wrong, they're planning on a trilogy. So as long as this second one doesn't absolutely bomb, which hopefully it won't by learning about the critiques of this first movie, then we should also be hopeful for a third movie in the future. Well, that just about wraps up my thoughts and opinions for now. Have you seen the movie yet? If so, head on down to the comments and let me know what your opinions are. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video. Or hey, if you haven't, consider checking it out. It is now currently available in theaters and on Peacock. And while there's probably less than 5% of you watching this that actually have Peacock, maybe consider getting it for just 1 month and watching the movie. If you don't want to go to theaters, that is. Well, other than that, I guess I'll wrap this up and catch you guys in the next video. See ya!